is Edward Vatrici, and I will be talking about the points that I have come up with for why the decision of keeping the leaving cert at the date that it is a bad idea. Not even just a bad idea, but why it will affect people's grades. That's more or less it. So the first point I have, as you may or may not know, the Minister of Education, Joe McHugh, has confirmed that this year's Leaving Cert will begin on Wednesday, the 29th of July. Like I stated, I'll be explaining why this is a bad idea. So something that is more personal to myself is how depression and anxiety can be not stressful on its own, but including on like having that put onto the leaving cert is very very crucial, and is very hard for myself, and I can understand that for other people as well to deal with. According to the USI, the Union of Students of Ireland, and a third of students are experiencing depression and anxiety and some form of formal diagnosis of mental health, which is very difficult to cope with on its own. And having the leaving cert on top of that, and also the coronavirus, is just a very bad idea. And it shows that you may or you may not be thinking about the people that it will affect more than others. Even though I know that from myself, because I have been diagnosed with it too, it is a very stressful time for myself. Even when the mocks were going on, 2 days into it, and the stress took over me, and I had attempted suicide, and I was put in hospital for it. And I can't imagine other people won't be going through the same thing. I can imagine that many people will be going through the same thing as I have. And so the students that are worrying about loved ones is another point that I'd like to bring up, because students might have a different work ethic just because of this coronavirus has taken lives of people that are in their family, or could possibly take it for themselves. The coronavirus is a growing problem at the moment, which I don't think it has reached its peak yet, from what I've read. Which is I don't understand why you would confirm the leaving cert for such a date when we haven't even reached peak on this global pandemic. So there's another point that is just unfair for people who are stressed about their loved ones and themselves, that won't be putting in the same amount of work that it would have been put in if the global pandemic wasn't there. Something that is more obscure is unsafe environments that they might have to be stuck in with some very good students that might be good students because they get to get out of their house and be in that environment, and they don't like it at home because it does affect them, either with where they are or the people that they are around constantly, and will destroy a work ethic just because they don't like who they're around, or they physically can't be around them. Another point that I actually don't have on here is, I just thought of now, people that don't have electricity during this time because of money and jobs. I myself have seen on Microsoft Teams, the teachers are doing a lot to try and get us the necessary support that we need, which is great, and things like Zoom for colleges and stuff like that. But there are people that don't have that higher standard as a lot of other people with electricity and with internet and things that might be affected during this time, just because of the coronavirus taking away people away from work and not being able to be paid enough to get the electricity, or whatever the case might be. And I don't think that's fair. That's not fair in any way possible. Like, no, any way, shape or form, that's not fair. Who won't be getting the support. And again, with like a lot of things are very obscure when it comes to the problems of the coronavirus, but like such as, like I said myself, or depression and anxiety, it's very hard to reach out to someone when you've got so many different thoughts in your head about how they're going to react to anything like this. I think it's a very, like, I don't mean, no, yeah, it's a stupid idea for the Minister of Education to confirm the Leaving Cert happening, at least not like even delaying it, so that this global pandemic can at least in some form be, like, gone. But in my opinion, it should be abandoned completely. At least, I believe there was a petition sometime like 2 through 3 weeks ago for students' opinions on the on like what we should do about this Leaving Cert, and majority said to delay or to abandon completely with predicted grades, etc., etc. And we have just not been heard. And it's like it's like we're not being listened to. We're not being listened to. Many news reports and articles have been saying that the Leaving Cert should be abandoned, and that there's no way we're going to get the grade that we should be getting without the global pandemic. And yet we're still not being heard, that we're in such a bad spot with this virus that it's not fair. It's not fair. I'm not even one that really cares much about the Leaving Cert, that just because I'm not one to study. However, I still care about the people that aren't getting what they deserve, which is a fair grade. And I understand that if you put in the work, like the work that you put in, the result that you'll get. But in a global pandemic where people are dying every day, where people's mental states are being affected, and where people aren't, like, a lot of people aren't in places they want to be, I don't understand why. I just don't understand. I can't wrap my head around why why the Leaving Cert will go ahead. It's stupid. I would appreciate if this video would be to be listened to be heard, and to be shared, because I want to know. I want something different for the students. I want to get past this coronavirus, and to not have so much stress on everything. However, I do believe that it is possible to turn the opinion around just by number, more or less. So that's my point. My name is Edward Vatrici. I'm from Old Balling Community School, and this has been my points as a 6th year with depression and anxiety. Thank you for listening, and share the video, please.